Welcome back to Awakening to Your Story TV, the place to learn, get inspired, and be supported with heart-centered solutions for your everyday life. I'm your host, Alicia Hartzell, and today we are going to be talking about another emotional tool that is one of my favorites. It's the Positive Cellular Memory. Now, I've been working with my clients in the last couple weeks with Positive Cellular Memories, and I'm like, I need to do a video specifically for this so that people can have it as an emotional tool that they can reach for on the regular because it is power packed. Okay, so first, let's talk about what a positive cellular memory is. It's kind of self-explanatory, but it's a memory that when it's recalled, it triggers all those positive responses to the core of your being. So you can feel it pumping through you in a positive way, right? Every cell of you is like, oh, yeah. We all have these memories. Think about one right now. And as you do, I bet the corners of your mouth turn up and you get a little flutter in your heart and you're like, yeah, right? That is a positive cellular memory. Now, let's talk about why positive cellular memories are important as they apply to using them as an emotional tool, right? First, they can get you out of an emotional pickle, and they're really helpful in this way. So let's say we have an everyday problem, traffic, or you're late, or something's happening where you're frustrated in the moment, right? You can feel your blood pressure rise. You can feel the anxiety happening. The stress is mounting. It's like, okay, I'm going to take a time into my heart, right? It's like a time out, but a time in. And I'm going to breathe, right? Do a couple rounds of square breathing where you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. Just slowing that entire nervous system down. While you're doing that, picture that positive cellular memory, right? In doing so, you're going to flood your system with all of those good feeling thoughts, which actually changes your brain chemistry, changes your physical chemistry on a very cellular level, right? So when you're in a pickle, grab a positive cellular memory to help you shift. The second one is helping you fortify your positive bias, right? And when you are fortifying your positive bias, you are in a place where you're scanning for all the things that are right and good. And if you have a positive cellular memory bank built up, that means that you are spending time and energy doing just that. Now, both of those things, right, getting you out of an emotional pickle and building up and fortifying that positive positive way of thinking and that positive bias, both of those things are emotional tools in and of themselves, right? At Awakening to Your Story, we talk a lot about paths of thinking. And when you're in a pickle, there are 2 paths of thoughts that you can reach for. One that's associated with that fight, flight, freeze, and one that is associated with that higher level problem solving, solution oriented kind of thinking. Now, when you look at using it to get out of a pickle and transitioning kind of your thoughts, I like to use the jellyfish beach, pina colada beach analogy, which is a tool all of itself. And I'm going to link that here for you. It really gives you a tangible way to illustrate both paths of thinking and offers you a choice on how to shift. And so I don't want you to miss out on that emotional tool. And then also creating a positive bias is another great emotional tool. And I'm going to link it here as well. But positive cellular memories really help you shift out of autopilot, help you get into a place where you are able to step in and take ownership for where your thoughts are coming from. And it gives you a sense of autonomy when you're in one of those kind of challenging situations, right? Okay, now let's talk about how to build up a positive cellular memory bank. Now, I am a visual like person. That's how I learn best. So for me, having something visual is always um, a way to get me tapped in more quickly. Uh, Even if you're a person who writes things down better, building up a physical bank, like a physical book library of positive cellular memories, like huge, right? Huge. It helps you tap into that space of feeling good. Tap back into all that that positive cellular memory offers you, right? And so I suggest pulling photographs because it really does make that magic come back to life in your system. And then I always suggest double down on it by capturing it in words, right? So you have something to read. Now, when we have a negative situation or we're trying to shift a path of thinking or we're trying to build a positive bias, like we want that positive cellular memory to be strong enough to meet whatever negative thing is at our fingertips, right? So it's got to be it's got to be filled with all of that feel good language. The photograph has to be one that evokes, right, joy and enthusiasm. There's one here that is just so funny. This one, I mean, seriously, like it's got to pull you out of that negative space, right? So I have an example on the blog of a recent photograph that was taken that is part of a beautiful positive cellular memory. So link the link to the blog post is in the description. Go over, check out the photograph. It's worth a peek, but we're going to talk about how to double down on the language. So the photograph is me in the water with a whole bunch of friends, and it really describes a fabulous moment in time. So I've written the first pass kind of narration of it, right? Okay. The first run description might go something like this. What a day on the lake, having fun with friends, playing around like kids, listening to music, laughing, basking in the sunshine, and being in the water feels so fun and makes me feel so full. And for that, I am grateful. Pretty good, right? Like there's gratitude in there. You talk about fun and sunshine and play. All those words hit those notes. But is it going to be strong enough when I am in a really crappy situation? Are all of those words going to evoke? Is it going to be enough to pull me to a different, more neutral place of being, right? So let's double down and let's see what that looks like. Okay. What a freaking fantastic day on the lake. First of all, I love all of these people and this moment and for all of the freedom and playfulness that we created together. Being on the water, listening to the music, laughing together, it feels like glitter in the sunshine, which the water actually looks like in person and in this photograph. I wanted to jump into the ice cold mountain water, so we stopped the boat and I talked my Virgo sister into doing the plunge with me! Exclamation point. Laughing hysterically, we grabbed each other's hands and jumped right into that icy cold water. That icy cold water felt like millions of tickles on my skin as my face broke through that freezing cold water and the warm sunshine hit my face. I was still laughing with endless joy. Our laughter was so contagious that before we knew it, another person jumped in, and then another person, and then another person. They all joined us. It was cold, ecstatic, and my heart was completely full. Boundless joy can be seen on my face and felt in every cell of my being. And for this, I am freaking grateful. Right? Stronger. Tapped in to all those good feeling words, right? And so if I'm in a moment of despair, sadness, frustration, anxiety, I can take a beat, I can take a breath, calm down my nervous system, and take that time into my heart, time out from the world, time into my heart. Look at the photograph. Look at the glitter and the sunshine. Read, right? It took a minute, maybe two, to read all of that. Let it wash over your being, and every cell of you will follow suit, right? The power of a positive cellular memory. So, what I want you to remember as you're collecting all of these things is to double down. Take the time, right? It's easy to gather up photographs, put them in a file on your phone, positive cellular memories. I have one so that if I'm out in the world and I just need a dopamine hit of joy from my life, I don't have to turn to social media where it's humanity is crazy out there, right? I have the safety of my phone with all of these positive feeling moments. But if you double down and you put it in a book and you write it out and you take time, you build that positive momentum. You build that positive bias within yourself, and it makes it stronger. So if you need to use it to get out of a tricky situation, you've got it. Okay, now talking about getting out of a tricky situation, let's talk about the three best ways to use positive cellular memories, right? The first one is to calm you down from that heightened experience, right? When you feel that blood pressure rise. We talked about this earlier. Take a few minutes to square breathe, slow everything down, close your eyes, time into your heart. And as you're breathing, let those positive cellular memories run through your head and take you in the direction of where you want to go, right? It'll take you from that amygdala fight, flight, or freeze to that prefrontal cortex of like, okay, let me scan for what's right and working. Let me scan for where things feel better. Let me scan for how I'm feeling now, right? All of that helps make a transition for yourself. Okay, now the second one is to get into a positive mindset. Now, we all have things in our life that give us a little anxiety when we're doing, whether it's public speaking, whether it's going on a road trip, whether it's taking a flight, whatever it may be. If you have something where you know you're going to have a little extra bump of anxiety, or you're going to have a little resistance in wanting to do it, build yourself up before you step in, right? Utilize those positive cellular memories to get you in a positive mindset. That's why these books that you're creating are so powerful. That's why having it on your phone is so powerful. Call it out. Where you put your mind is where you're going to be. Where you put your mind is where you're going to end up thinking, right? And so what we want to do is we want to fortify those feel good thoughts. We want to get you from that anxiety of worrying about what's happening, which is that amygdala, fight, flight, freeze, into a place of solution oriented, problem solving, higher level thinking, scanning to see how all the things are working for you, right? To do that, you can slow everything down, take some breaths, just like we did before, and scan through those positive cellular memories. Utilize them to shift every cell of your being. Okay. The third is to help you transition to a better path of thinking, right? We talked about this earlier as well. When you are watching your thoughts, trying to be conscious, taking yourself off of autopilot and stepping into a place where you're really the architect of your experience. You're really the writer of your story. And you do that by watching your thoughts, because your thoughts are going to be where you end up living and spending your time. And you have power over your thoughts as long as you're not on autopilot, right? So you want to watch where your thoughts are coming from. And when you are pulling thoughts from the jellyfish beach, which is a place where your thoughts are linked to that fight, flight, freeze, to that negative bias where you're scanning because humanity is a wild place and you have to protect yourself, right? When you're in that path of thinking, the jellyfish beach, where you're just going to keep getting stung by the negativity, you have to get to the pina colada beach, which is that higher level thinking, that prefrontal cortex kind of thoughts. Those are the feel good, scanning for the things that are right and working beach that you want to be on, path of thinking that you want to be on. But it's really hard to go from one to the other. It's almost impossible without getting neutral. And positive cellular memories help you do that. They help you slow down that negative momentum, get to a place where you feel more calm, and then you can more easily scan for what's right and working. Scan for the next logical thought that feels better, right? So you see your thought, you see it's going down a direction you don't want it to go. You call it out. I always like to say, BS, come on, come back down. I get to choose my thought because both thoughts are true. The negative thought on the jellyfish beach and the positive thought on the pina colada beach are both always true at the same time. And so you get to choose which path of thinking that you want to be on. And if you have positive cellular memories in your back pocket to get you to a neutral place, then you can more easily choose which path you want to be on, right? Rather than just being thrown into the negative, you can actually take a beat and go, okay, where do I want to go? Right? So you get it, you get quiet, you take a pause, you take a breath, and then you scan through those positive cellular memories. And from there, you can take that logical next step on the pina colada beach path of thinking from that higher level solution oriented prefrontal cortex, right? Okay, now I want you to go out and build up your positive cellular memory bank. I am here if you need help going deeper on them. I would love for you to share some of your positive cellular memories with me. That would just be a dream. You can put your comments in the video or on the blog. I am right here with you, always cheering you on. Will meet you in the comments anytime. And like the video, share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel. I'm here to help you in any way that I can. And until next time, I want you to know that I am holding a place of love for you where your positive cellular memory bank is full and your heart feels good.